Hello, YouTube. So, happen to think of a couple of points that I haven't touched upon yet, and the different ways that the narcissist will abuse, and how they get, what things that they do to throw you off track, keep you off guard, keep you off balance, and if you have been a part of any of the support groups that are on Facebook, what I have found is conversations that people have posted, basically screenshots of their text messaging that went on between them and their narcissist, or the narcissist that they were involved with. And those are interesting. Those are very, very interesting. I always liked to read those. I'm not a part of any of those groups anymore, just because I'm not to boast or brag, but I'm past that point now where I don't really need necessarily need the validation on that anymore. But I did at one time, and I got a lot of support by having that support group. I felt very much like I was not the only one. And that's really, really, really important when this has happened to you, because you do feel isolated, and you are isolated. You've been isolated by the narcissist. I mean, that's one of their tactics. It's one of the things that they do. So, with that being said, I have read many text messages that people have posted, and their conversations between themselves and these people. They are similar. It's like I could transpose my name and my ex's name, and it would be us having the same argument or the same conversation, or being spoken to in the same exact way with the same, inflection on the tone, just everything really. And I got to thinking about that, and I went to my old phone, the phone that I used to have, and I looked up my text messages between my ex and I. And I just don't have any. We never argued over text, and I thought that was really interesting. Why did we never argue over text? And I know why. So those of you that don't have text messages to go back on and reflect on, or the ones that were like my ex, where they didn't use text messages to argue, there's a reason for that. And my thought process behind that is, if they use the text to start a conversation, to poke the cheetah, so to speak, they open themselves up to you being able to be more prepared to respond back to them. I have always been good with a written word. I can really think about it a little bit more. I can take it apart. I can reflect on it before I send it. Or I can really reread and read and reread the message that's been sent and see if I'm taking it wrong. And so in this way, he didn't do that with me, because he didn't want me to have that time. He didn't want me to have that time to reflect on any of the messages, to be able to formulate a response that made sense. He wanted to throw me off balance. So he enjoyed the shock, which is what that was his favorite thing to do, really, was to shock me with insults, or really just mean comments, to where I would just be sitting there wide-eyed looking at him like, I can't believe that this is the same person that just told me 2 months ago how much his world revolves around me, and how lucky he was to have me, and all of this other stuff, that they do when they love bomb you. So it throws you off balance, and you're thinking, how in the world, what did I do wrong? How can I get it back? And what can I do to make him love me again and all of those things. But, it's just because they never do love you. They really don't love you. They don't give a shit about you. They are pieces of shit. I hate to say that because I normally try to find the good in everybody, but literally when they have that type of background, they have that type of, they're that disordered, there is no good to see. It's just you seeing behind the mask is evil, it is absolutely garbage that's back there. And when you get a look at that and you see how ugly that real person is down deep, they're gone. They're gone. I never have to worry about mine trying to hoover me because I called him a lunatic. I told him he was fucking crazy. I told him that he needed to never contact me again. I told him those things over and over and over again. And in between me saying that, he was trying to get words in edgewise and I wouldn't let him. I was screaming at him. The other thing I did that I didn't realize I had done, now I'm digressing a little bit, sorry about that. But the other thing I did was I accidentally warned his new supply. Oops. A lot of times you hear people say, should I warn the new supply? Because we do. As empaths and codependents and whatever else, we're always more feeling and we're caring on the inside and we do everything with our heart and we think about other people. And so there's nothing wrong with thinking about the victim, the next victim. You know that she is going to be going through what you're going through, or he. I say she because majority of the narcissists are men, or at least they're finding. There are lots of women that are narcissists, and I have met a few of those in my life too. But I'm just kind of reflecting back to the he thing because that's my personal experience. However, like I was saying, you hear a lot of people, should I contact the new supply and warn them of what they're No, nobody warned you. You wouldn't have listened if they had. And it's everybody's gift and right to make the same choices, to come up with the same lessons that you've come through. So in that way, you need to just kind of step back and let happen what's going to happen and just be thankful that you're out of it for now and do the healing that you need to do on yourself so that you don't pick these type of people in the future. Mine was a 20-year long friendship. I had a platonic friendship with this man, and he was, for all intents and purposes, like a brother to me. And we decided to take our relationship to the next level. We moved it on past friendship, and it was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. I left everything, my life, my previous partner. I left everything for this man because of that love bombing stage. It was so awesome. And they know that. They know that love bombing, you can hardly resist it. So to go back, since I keep digressing, I accidentally warned my ex's new supply, actually. I called our friend, a friend that we had met in the new town that we were in, and I called her because my ex and I had just gotten in a huge fight, and he left me. Told me he didn't want to be with me anymore. He wanted a divorce. He was never happy with me. He should have never married me. There was a lot of mean, ugly things that he said. And at that point, I called the only friend that I thought I had in the area, and I was talking to her on the phone, and I was telling her all about what had happened. And she said, "Oh, you guys seem so happy." And I said, we weren't. He has been torturing me for the last 3 years. He is abusive. He is a narcissist, and my life has been a living hell for 3 years. She says, "Oh, I would have never guessed. You guys are, I'm so sorry that happened." Lo and behold, That was the new supply. And he was sitting right there. So I have very little fear that mine will ever, ever hoover me because I'm too smart. I mean, and I'm not saying that to say, oh, I'm too smart. I'm smarter than all you all. That's not what I mean. He knows he can't pull the wool. He knows that I would not even give him the time of day. And he wants somebody that's easy. He's not going to want somebody that's already smart to him. Their biggest fear is being exposed. So the fact that he's exposed means that there's no more chance of him ever trying to come back, in my opinion. And that's just because it's been 2 years. And there's a lot of people that are like, don't worry, he'll probably come back after 10 years. Sometimes they come back after 10, 15, 20 years. Yeah, good luck, buddy. You even try, and you're going to be shut down. I have no use for that man. None. He's a coward, and he's an idiot. He's the stupidest person I've ever been with. And this comes with most narcissists are like this, but he was so careless. I mean, he could care less about the things that were important. Like, he would save for something special and buy it for himself, and then he would treat it like garbage. He would just throw it around, break it. There was a lot of different things that he did that way, high-priced items, and never took care of them. They're careless. They're very careless. And if you watch them with objects, you can imagine that you are the same thing to them. And that's what they do. They save and they covet it and they want you so bad. And then when they get you, they trash you. They throw you to the side. So the whole purpose of me making this long, stupid video that's now 12 minutes long is me telling you that not all narcissists are going to argue with you over text message because they want to throw you off balance. They want you to not be prepared in your responses to them. They want you to be shocked. They want to hit you between the eyes, kick you when you're down, because that's the only way they can win. They can't win against the smart you. They got to dumb you down. These people work on sleep deprivation. They deprive your sleep. I've heard lots of stories where people, say, oh, I used to fall asleep and my ex would poke me or slam things around in the kitchen so I'd wake up or, stuff like that. And mine did the same thing. I wasn't allowed to be alone or away from him for very long without him either touching base with me via text, phone call, coming into the bathroom and jumping into the shower with me. Oh, this is my favorite time to spend with you. Yeah. Baloney. You just don't want me to think about anything but you. And you're afraid that if I have 2 minutes alone, I might actually figure out what an asshole you are. And I might actually want to leave. So, all of that being said, best thing you can do to get yourself well, and you can get yourself well, is create an exit plan. Get yourself, think about start setting aside money, and talk to some people maybe that can be a friend to you, and start, look up on YouTube, exit plans, and be smart about it. Placate them, be nice to them while you have to be nice to them while you're trying to come up with a way to get free and a way to get loose. But you can. Trust me, somebody that almost didn't make it through this. And now I'm on the other side, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for actually the experience. I really am grateful for him and all of the things that I went through in that relationship. It taught me so much about myself and how strong I am and how resilient I am. And I know that you guys can have the same kind of thing. I hope this video helped you. If it did, hit the like. I don't have very many of the videos out there, but hit subscribe, I guess. I'm not even really sure if I'm putting this out. If you see it, I guess I decided to put it out there. Sometimes I feel like maybe I can't really help that many people. But, I do remember when I was going through it, and these videos were like gold to me. just seeing other people on here that went through the same thing and understood, really understood, because for those that haven't been there, there is no explanation. And for those who have been there, there is no way to not explain it. I don't know, deep, profound, whatever you want to call it, but there really isn't any way to explain it to somebody who hasn't been through it. It sounds too outlandish. There's just no way that somebody could go through all of those things and still love a person. And anyway, I wish you love and happiness, and please know that you will get through this and you will come out better and stronger on the other side. You need time away from that toxic person. You really need time away from that toxic person in order to start the healing process and really find out why it is that you chose that person. I'll have more videos later on how I got to that point, how I figured it out, how I figured out what it was that made me want to be with a narcissist, or several of them in my life. And for now, I'm going to sign off. All right. Bye-bye.